Yo, 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 yo. Welcome into a little Sports 56 happy hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. It is a thirsty Thursday, and it's beautiful, baby. And we got a very, very busy show. We got to talk a little SEC hoops. Got to give you also my feel on the officiating this year in college basketball. Go ahead and watch the SEC. These guys are running into each other. It looks like it's football on a basketball court. Go watch the Western Coast Conference. I watched a little BYU, San Diego State like there. If you blow on somebody, they are calling a foul. I think that's big. We're going to talk about that a little later. Plus, we got to talk about Ben Johnson. Again, I think he's got a little gooberness in him like Josh Pastner. Gives me an Adam Gase feel. He is the Bears quarterback. Now the Bears coach. His job is to get Caleb Williams to that level because he has the talent. We're going to see. I just feel like the Bears do one thing good. Screw up year after year. We got football, NFC, AFC, championship rounds. And again, I've been digging, and I found some nuggets. And I'm telling you, if you want to build your bankroll, listen to me. Last week, I went against AI. This Friday, I'm going against AI again. Artificial intelligence, yeah, they can do math better than me. Ask them to do a haiku and they can do it. But picking bets, knowing ball, know that chokers are going to choke, you don't know nothing. That's just algorithms, bro. I went 6-1-1. I went 6-1-2, and AI went 1-5-2. I'm going to kick their tail again. We also are going to help you get informed. Man, are you looking for a new career? Are you thinking about how it is that I can help my community? Man, I got you covered. I'll tell you about that in just a little bit of, just a few seconds. I got Officer Alvarez. I got Officer Ross up in this bad boy. We're going to talk to them in just a minute. I have Officer Williams in here. Don't worry, people. They ain't arresting me. I'll be here till 1 o'clock, and I'll be at Hot 107 at 1:30 to 2. But we've also got Evie Van Pelt from the Rebel Walk. Ole Miss, that game last night was a heartbreaker. You lead basically the whole game. Wade Taylor goes 2 for 12. Can't score a bucket, and you lose it at the end because you get cute over the last 3 to 4 minutes. Turn the ball over, can't inbound the ball. That was pathetic. If you're a Rebel fan, you should be a little agitated. I know one thing, the sweet Evie Van Pelt, talked to her last night. She's sweet. She's an angel. She sounded like a demon last night. She was hot. I hope she's a little hot today because she was feisty on the phone last night. We'll be talking to her at 12 o'clock. You know Isaac Simpson at 11:30, man. Tiger basketball, baby. Grizzlies, Tigers, Grizzlies, Memphis, Maine. Most beautiful land in the whole world. Now, if you want to represent Memphis, man, I got a little something for you. Literally, people, I've had these, not these specific gentlemen, but I've had these officers come in here as they go out there and try to find the best and the brightest in the Mid-South to help keep this city safe and clean. And they're here again today. And the opportunity, I hope you're listening up because this is just right around the corner, January 25th. It's going down. It's at 170 North Main. But first and foremost, before I tell you how you can get you a new job and get started on that right career and help out your community, let me welcome in Officer Alvarez and Officer Ross. Gentlemen, how are you doing, Mr. Alvarez, first?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Man, I'm great. Do you like ball, Mr. Alvarez?
I do.
What ball do you like the most?
Baseball.
Baseball?
Of course, yeah.
Man, did you see that idiot? Did you know there was a couple writers who did not vote for Ichiro Suzuki to get in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, kind of shameful.
Man, you should have your daggum voting right taken away if you don't vote for Ichiro. He batted .350 his rookie year. Look at all of his hits. Look what he's done. He's crazy great defensively on the bases. He can hit, and you leave him out. Now, I know that there's some people out there who are like, well, John, Babe Ruth and DiMaggio didn't get in unanimously. Well, those guys were idiots, too. We can't just continue to support ignorance. You know, let's use a little common sense, people. Ichiro was a baller. And I can't believe he didn't get unanimous. Ridiculous.
He'll probably get in on the next one.
No, he's in. He got in on the first ballot, but he got 99% of the vote. There was just a handful of writers that left him off the ballot, which was so stupid, and I just thought that was agitating. And you being a baseball guy, sorry. It's Thursday, man. I'm ready for the weekend. Gets me a little excited. But Mr. Alvarez, Officer Ross is in the house. Officer Ross, what up?
What up with it?
Man, you gentlemen got something going down this weekend. And it's something that, a lot of people just don't even realize their opportunity that's right here in front of them, sitting here in this city. If you're sitting around, if you're tired of working a couple jobs, if you're like, man, I've been Ubering, I've been applying for this, I've been doing that. Or maybe you got a job and you just realize every morning you wake up and you're like, I do the same damn thing every day. If you want something that's kind of exhilarating, kind of thrilling, and benefits your community, listen to these guys. What's going on this weekend?
Well, we got the Hiring Expo this weekend. It's going to be at 170 North Main, which is police headquarters. It's going to be between the hours of 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. We also have free parking for you guys. It's going to be at the Mud Island Garage, just right across the street. So please come out and be a part of the Best in Blue, and let's make Memphis great again.
By the way, I love that. Make Memphis most beautiful land in the whole world. We got to do something, gentlemen. You got to tell them, I need you to tell my peeps, what do they need to bring? Because I know they're sitting there like, oh, man, do I just show up like at 11 to 3? How long am I going to be there? Man, you're not going to be there forever. And you do need to bring, I believe, your ID.
Yes, your valid driver license. Not just ID, but a valid driver license. And to speed up the process, you can go to joinmpd.com and start working your application. That being said, we will have computers over there for you to complete the application if you deem it so. Just do it over there. We'll be able to help you as well. But if you come in with the expectation of completing the application on site, please be prepared. By that I mean bring your the list of all your employers within the last 10 years, the list of all your addresses since you were 18 years old, and 5 personal references. All the information, the phone number, email, and address for 5 personal references. And those references, they cannot be family or past employers.
That is, I'm glad you said that, because I don't know if I've ever even known that. And I've done this now like probably 6 times. That's the first time I've heard that. I do know that going to joinmpd.com is always the easier route, because you're sitting at home. You can reach out to some people and be like, hey, do you mind if I put you down as a reference, or, as a character? I was about to say character witness. You're not on the stand. I'm watching too much Law and Order. But, you just make sure you have all that stuff. So going to joinmpd.com really will. But, again, if you go downtown and you're just like, hey, I want to do it down there. I want to talk to some of the boys in blue. I want to get a kind of a feel. You go down there. You're welcome to. Bring that valid driver's license. Again, valid driver's license. And tell me one thing, gentlemen. I'm sorry. I gotta cut this off. You know the paper license that you get?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all take those, right?
Yes, temporarily until you get the hard copy in the mail.
So, now the reason I just went through this, okay, my wallet got stolen or I lost it. Just we'll just say it's stolen, because I hate blaming things on myself. But I had to go get a new ID. I went to the library, had them print off the thing, and I literally thought that machine was just going to. I was like, oh my God, this is dope. They just like sit here, put out, like, go drop my card. They gave me that printout, and one day, it was a beautiful weekend, and my lovely sponsors, Tito's Handmade Vodka, I stopped into the liquor store, and they said, can I give your ID? And I handed that piece of paper, and they looked like at me. I was a crazy person. And they're like, what you trying to show me? I was like, man, this is the license. It's real. So are those, like, legit?
Those are legit for a little while.
For a little while. And it takes about, 30 days? I think it took me almost a month for my license actually to get there.
Yeah. So if we pull you over and we see, this was issued about 4 months ago.
Oh, then you're in some serious trouble. I got that one. But seriously, people, the boys in blue right now are in this house right now again. These guys got big smiles on their faces. If you go to a job every single day and you do not like it, listen closely. Tell me, gentlemen, what are some of the things that when you joined the force, maybe tell me some of the reasons you joined the force, but some of the things, like, since you've been in, that you found out you're like, wow, I didn't even know this is how things were. This is how my life was going to be.
Well, I'm a native Memphian, born and raised. And when I first initially went to college, I really didn't think that I was going to become a police officer. I wanted to be an attorney. But I ended up joining the force, and I would dare to say it's the best thing I've ever done.
I would say, man, like, unless you're defending me, most attorneys, you know what I'm saying? Not a big fan, but I love me.
Right, and and it's also afforded me to be able to take care of my family, and as an incentive for you guys to come out, we got the $15,000 signing bonus back.
Hold up. I come out, I go to joinmpd.com, I fill everything out. I go down, I show you all my license, I get the spiel, I find out exactly when I'm going to go out there, and it's the academy that you go to after you do this process, correct?
Correct.
And after, so when you're going to the academy, before you finish the academy, you're getting that $15,000, or is it when you complete the academy?
So you get it in two halves. The first half is when you graduate the academy, and the second half is after passing probation, your probationary period.
Wow. That is a heck of a bonus right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's impressive. Now, my question, and I hate to be rude because nobody really wants to know, everybody to know how much they make, but if we're trying to get people down there, how much are we going to make?
Well, for police recruits, that's just for police recruits, the starting pay is $56,249. That's like $27 an hour. And for police service technicians, it's a little bit less, but still getting paid $20 an hour.
And the technicians, those are the cars that are not actually the police one, but have the lights on them that are always out there helping the community. I see them at church every single Sunday. That's what we're talking about
Yes,
right
sir.
there.
They do traffic control, special events, and more, but they basically just deal with traffic.
And it seems like some of them are younger. Is that maybe like some of those kids who are just graduating high school? Are you allowed to, as a high school graduate, come down here and do this? Because maybe if you graduated high school, college is not for you. You want to be in the police your whole life. Maybe your family member was an officer. Maybe you just love blue bloods.
Absolutely. I mean, the PSD is a great way to get your foot in the door, because in the state of Tennessee, you cannot be a police officer until you become 21 years old, right?
Oh, okay.
So from 18 till you can come in as a police officer, you're still adding to your retirement, so you're starting early in that.
So you're already getting 3 years towards your retirement.
Indeed.
And then when you hit 21 years old, you've already got a good foot in the door, and you're
Right.
going in at just basically an accelerated pace.
Yeah, just so how the police service technician works, how that program works, you come to the academy for the first 6 weeks of training. They graduate the PSD, go to the field, and then after you meet the requirements for a police recruit, you come back to the academy starting on week 7.
Do these gentlemen go to the academy just like everybody else at the same time?
Yes, sir.
Yes, when you come back as a PSD,
And women.
Yeah, PSD as a police recruit, you come back at week 7. So it's a little bit more accelerated when you come back.
Man, this is awesome. Again, this is January 25th. So it is literally around the corner. Look at your calendar. Today's January 23rd. I only know the date because it's my girlfriend's birthday. Happy birthday, baby, if you're listening. Also, do me a favor, hit me up at the Sissy's Log Cabin text in listener line, 901-360-8255. Life's too short for ordinary jewelry. I need some advice. I can't go to Folks Folly because I'm going next week to take Chas and Miriam. Where can I go to dinner tonight? I need something new. I need something fresh. Hit me up, 901-360-8255. And also, if you have any questions for Officer Ross or Officer Alvarez, let me know at 901-360-8255. I'll make sure I get to that before these gentlemen step out the door. Now, 170 North Main, free parking right over there at the Mud Island Garage. Bring your ID. Go ahead before you come down there because it's just going to make the process that much easier. Go to joinmpd.com, fill out all the application, get your paperwork done, and bing, bang, boom. When I get down there, if I'm going down there, and that's Saturday.
Saturday, yes.
If I'm down there, if I got my ID, I got my paperwork filled out, what am I going to do when I get there?
Well, as soon as you get there, we'll sign you in, and you will have the opportunity to talk to other recruiters. And any questions that you have about the academy, about the job, we'll be able to help you with there. Also, you will be able to take your first test. It's just basically reading comprehension, nothing too crazy, right? But you take the first test, and that will speed up the process, the background process a little bit too. So just making it faster.
Now, so Saturday I'll go down there. I'm very, very excited. I've talked to you guys. When does the academy start? And how do you, I know you just don't let everybody and their grandmother in this bad boy. So how would you know if you're actually going to be invited to the academy? Will you know on Saturday? Or is it a process that you're going to have to wait? You're going to email the process back? How much time are we looking at?
Well, there is a process. After you get done with everything at the expo, we're going to have an intake process where you be given a backgrounds investigator. And once you pass backgrounds, you have to do the medical to make sure your heart can take the physical training and everything. And then the city hall HR will give you a final job offer at that point. We normally get about 30 days to do a background check. And the academy starts on March 22nd. So please come to the expo so we can have enough time to get you in the door with the background check and all the other testing that we have to do.
Now, when a lot of people out there who are listening to this and you're thinking to yourself, maybe I have no desire to be a police officer. I don't want to patrol. I don't want to be in a car all day. I don't want to pull people over. This is not my game. I don't want to be an investigator. I don't want to deal with murder, things of that nature. Now, if that floats your boat, those are the first things at least I think of when I think of a police officer, especially through all the TV we watch. But I mean, I hear there are so many different jobs that people don't understand. A friend of mine about 6 months ago ended up going, he loves dogs. He's doing everything he can to get into the canine unit. I've heard there's also like you have room for pilots. Like if you were in the military, like tell me some of the things out there that like, you know, might kind of like people not think to themselves, oh, that's what a Memphis police officer does.
Yeah, with the department, we prepare you for leadership. Okay, so we always start from the bottom up. You know how some companies you got to start in the mailroom before you get to the boardroom?
Yes, sir.
It's always very important for you to get some field work. Like I was kind of intimidated by going out in the field, having to see some of the things I had to see. But in the midst of that, I was able to find who I was as a person and as an officer. You know, I was really passionate about the
growth.
Yeah, about growth and about the mental health issues that we have in our community. And I wanted to help with people suffering from mental health. So we have CIT officers. We have the helicopter pilots where you can be a helicopter. You can get into TAC. We got mounted where you can ride the horses. We have FT.
Oh, I love that, dude, on the Beale Street. I think to myself, that's got to be the best job. You got a bird's eye view of everything. You know, everybody's going, you're down there on your horse. I like that one.
Right. So if you have a passion, there's room for it with the Memphis Police Department.
So, you know, that you're not trying to put every single person in, you know, like no matter who they are, they could be a ball, they could be a square, they could be a star. You're not shoving them into one peg. You're going to find something that absolutely fits them and how it is they can best help their community. So if you want to be a part of your community, if you want to make a very good living, and not only just a good living, they start you out at $56,000.
Right.
So, like, what about, like, I mean, honestly, somebody's like, if you start me out at $56,000, how do I get a raise, and when can I get to another level, and how high does that level go?
So the top off is around 72.
72?
Mm-hmm. But here's the thing: you get a raise when you go out of the academy, and every year after that until you get that top off. And then on top of that, let's say you come in with a bachelor's degree. We give you a 7.5% pay increase right after
right off the jump.
Right,
once you finish.
Exactly, and we have other programs like you're a CIT officer, you get a pay bump. If you speak any other languages, so like Spanish, highly needed right now, right? You speak another language, you get a pay bump. So when all that adds up, like if you go to a unit where your job requirement it requires you more than a normal patrol officer, you get out of rank pay. So when you add all those up, it makes a pretty penny. It makes a pretty penny.
And also, you know, again, I got a lot of friends that are police officers. I'm not going to name your names because I know y'all are private. But I do also know this, few of my friends, because I'm getting old.
You and me both.
I'm getting there. Thank y'all. One of my good buddies, he's basically semi-retired or whatever. He kind of picks up, but also he went into, after his years, he works for, you know, like security, and it's crazy the amount of pay and the fun events. Like he'll go and work, Mempho Fest. He'll work like these different concert events. So even when you're done, and he's, I think, collecting like retirement, he's got like a little side gig, and then he comes back and helps y'all out with like Memphis in May. Like there's just something for you to stay involved in the community while you're a police officer. Correct. And then it continues on going forward, even in retirement.
Yeah, because those are the reserve officers. So
Thank you. I was trying to think of my homie. Thank you.
Yeah, reserve officers. So after you retire and you want to come back, and they really do it for the love of the community, because the only thing they get is like health insurance, and get community hours. But they can still help participate and be a part of the Best in Blue and help out the community they have worked for so long.
Man, that is this is awesome. So, Ken, people, this is not something this doesn't come around every week. By the way, if you're on the fence, go down there and learn a little bit more. If you're even contemplating it, just go to Join MPD, start filling it out. Again, this is not something that is a 100%, but I mean, if you're even thinking about it, 20, 30%, if it's something that's kind of like, I wonder what my life would be like, go find out Saturday, January 25th. Just stop in between 11 and 3. It's at 170 North Main. Free parking over at the Mud Island Garage. You'll meet a bunch of officers and some recruits, and you'll get even a better understanding than hopefully I was able to give you today. The pay is great. There's so many different jobs in there. And again, what you're doing for your community is out of control. And you heard that. You can be just out of high school. You could have a bachelor's degree. You could have a master's degree. You could be fluent in different languages. Take your skill, whatever it is that you're good at, and find out how you can apply it to this city and to the best and brightest in blue. Make sure you go to joinmpd.com. And again, it's this Saturday, 11 to 3. Officer Ross, Officer Alvarez, there any parting words you need to give the peeps?
We just look forward to seeing you guys. Please come out and help us join the Best in Blue.
And now I got to ask y'all something about sports. Who you got this weekend? We got Jaden Daniels, one of the greatest rookies I've ever seen. We got a team with Jalen Hurts. The problem is Washington can't stop the run, 30th in defense against stopping the run, giving up 4.8 yards per rush. Saquon Barkley is the quad monster running like a madman.
Oh, yeah.
Who y'all got in the NFC? Eagles or Commanders?
That's going to be tough because I like Jalen Hurt. Like you said, Saquon, he doing his thing. Well, with that being said, I'm going to go with the Eagles.
Eagles!
With the Eagles.
2 Eagles, man. That's who I think I'm playing right now. I'll let you know for sure on Friday as I'm going to beat AI again because they just don't know ball. Now, Brady, Manning part deux. I call that Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. 3 times they faced each other in the playoffs. 3-time Patty's got the best of Josh Allen. That's how it was early in Brady and Manning. He couldn't beat Brady in the playoffs for a while until he finally got over 30 years old and got over that hump. Do you think this is the opportunity for Josh to get over the hump and finally make it to the Super Bowl? Or is it same old story, baby? Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl going for a three-peat. Who you got, gentlemen?
3-peat all day.
3-peat.
We in the Mahomes zone. He's going to do it. I give it to him.
I call it,
Chiefs.
this is almost like the Jordan times. Like, think about it. Charles Barkley couldn't get a chip. He couldn't get that ring. You had Malone couldn't get that ring in Stockton. So many great ball players couldn't get that ring because they were in the MJ era. And right now you got Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. You got some great quarterbacks, but they can't get that chip because Patty's just taking it all.
Taking it all.
Oh, man. Join the best, the brightest in blue. Help out your community. Go this Saturday, 11 to 3 o'clock down to 170 North Main Street. Free parking over at the Mud Island Garage. Make sure you go to joinmpd.com. Fill out everything. If you don't have time because you're at work, don't worry. You can go down there 11 to 3. You can fill out your work down there. Just make sure you bring some references. Have all your past 10 years of employers. Make sure you have the information that you're going to need to get through this. When does the academy start?
It starts March 22nd, 2025.
Ooh.
So we don't have much time, so come on so we can get you in there.
Get your career started. Join the best in blue. We're back in 2 shakes. We got to talk with Isaac Simpson, Grizzlies, Tigers. Oh, my. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports.
Sometimes you just want to make it fast, like the fun that comes from a quick and nimble 2024 Honda CB500F. This amazing style streetlight to narrow 471cc twin along with sleek. Do you know one of the best things you can do? Families help provide. Jenkins Floors and More invite you to their retail.
New year, new savings during the Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat Start Something New sale.
to talk is basketball. Joining Greg and Eli is
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 happy hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. Lordy, 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 lordy. Gotta tell you a little behind the scenes action.
Busy man, John.
Some people just don't understand.
I know they don't.
Like getting in my Phantom when
I
my
knew it was coming.
show's on is not a bright idea.
Yeah, I apologize for
Why
that, y'all. A
do
little
I
technical
have to teach
difficulty.
everybody how to do their job? No, I'm just kidding, y'all. It's a beautiful Thursday. It's a very, very thirsty Thursday. We're going to talk some Grizzlies and Tigers with Isaac Simpson. We are going to ball out all over some SEC basketball, some Tigers, and some Grizness. Talk about some leagues. If you watch the ACC, you watch the SEC, you watch the Big Ten, you watch the West Coast Conference, you watch these different games and how different officiating crews are. And I'm not talking about like one specific crew in each league. I'm talking about it seems like the whole crew officiates one specific way. You can't blow on anybody in the West Coast Conference. ACC, no bumping down low, no big bodies banging, bodies falling to the floor, whistle blown. SEC, Mack trucks running over people. It's wild. I mean, dude, like Texas A&M and Ole Miss, Texas A&M had to like foul like 4 times in a row to even get Ole Miss into the bonus. We'll talk about that and so much more. Again, one more time, I hope you remember this. If you are not enjoying your job, if you're looking for a career, go to joinmpd.com, fill out some paperwork, go down to 170 North Main. That's this Saturday, January 25th, from the hours 11 to 3. Free parking at the Mud Island Garage. You go down there, you fill that bad boy out. You'll be at the Police Academy on March 22nd, starting your career. And they have a $15,000 sign-on bonus, $7,500 once you go to the academy, $7,500 once you complete the academy. And my goodness, starting pay is 56 G's, baby. And I'm telling you, man, all 3 of these gentlemen, man, they got big smiles on their faces. Their job's different every single day. If you don't like, now, if you are OCD, just not trying to say, look, they got a job for you. But if you need routine because you just feel completely comfortable in routine, guess what? They got jobs like that for you too. If you like animals, if you speak different languages. If you
I felt like one of them needed to be locked up, John.
Which one, me?
No, whichever one was talking about the Chiefs. It's like, is he brainwashed?
Oh my goodness! I
I let him ride because I didn't want to go to jail, but you know,
resident Chiefs hater.
Yeah, you know, I didn't want to go to jail, so I left him alone. You know,
real
smart,
real small story because I've got to get to Isaac Simpson. I just saw that he's actually on the line now. Jay Ham, good buddy of mine, the historian. He was in here. You know Jay now, right? So the first time that they were talking about the MPD, their expo, and the academy and the jobs that they could get, 3 gentlemen, just like these wonderful gentlemen, Officer Williams, Officer Ross, and Officer Alvarez, they were in studio. Jay Ham comes in. You know how he comes in? He opens up the door. He sees 3 police officers. He shuts the door. I don't really think much of it because I'm thinking to myself that he just went outside because there's 3 people in my studio. It's kind of, you know, this ain't a big room. So he's thinking to myself, you know what? I'm going to go in the other room. I'm going to sit down and chill in Johnny's office. Well, guess what? I came out after said goodbye to these gentlemen, walked out front, looked for him, I couldn't find him, said in the bathroom, yo, homie, we about to go on. Went out front, Ms. Margaret goes, dude, what happened to Jay Ham? He ran past me, opened the door, ran to his car, got in his car and pulled off like he was a drag racer. I was like, oh my goodness. I started getting texts, yo, man, you getting arrested? You getting arrested?
So that was Ham texting you where you getting arrested?
Yup. I guess
he ran off on the plug.
He didn't want, man, I ain't getting arrested. I don't do nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I ain't a perfect person. I might, you know, I fall short. But It's time to get back to talking a little bit of sports, baby. Tigers, Grizzlies, oh my. Got Isaac Simpson. Isaac, what's going on with you today?
Man, not much, man. It's just chilling, man. Working, you know how it goes.
Yup, yeah, working hard for that money. So I'm sorry, just kidding. I don't even do karaoke. I'm sitting here singing on my own damn show, trying to get people to tune out. My bad. What do you think? Did you pay any attention to like that Ole Miss game last night? Like that, the way Ole Miss lost, because I'm an Ole Miss fan, number one, but because the Tigers beat Ole Miss, I need them to help me out. They've dropped two. They dropped that one in Mississippi State, basically the Egg Bowl, Mississippi State Ole Miss last weekend in overtime, and then they lost a game that they had double-digit lead in the second half. Last 4 minutes, lost their mind, just kept turning the ball over, didn't even attack the rim. It was absolutely stupid. Do those kind of things, like every time something happens bad to UConn or Michigan State or Ole Miss, I almost cringe a little bit because of the way the schedule is and also the fact that they dropped a Temple game. Is this something I concern myself with or just focus on Tiger basketball?
Yeah, I mean, that's the situation that the Tigers are in. When you're in the AAC, man, they did a really good job at non-con, and you need those teams to continue to win. And that was a one that Ole Miss should have won last night, man.
Stupidest loss I've seen in a long time.
Dropped it 63-62. That would have been a big one for them, knocking off number 13 Texas A&M, a game that they should have won, man. They had it in hand. So if you're a Tiger fan, that's definitely not a good thing. But you have to pay attention to those games. What Michigan State's doing. UConn is dropped some games. But I think it's holding up. It's holding up a lot better than last year. That's for sure. Those wins last year, aged in dog years. They didn't really get anything out of that non-con by the end of the year. It looked good at the time, but I think it's holding up a lot better this year. But yeah, you wish Ole Miss had pulled that game out last night for sure.
Yeah, that was again. It was one of the worst losses. I mean, it was one of those things that you're like, damn, bro. Like you have to be completely stupid to lose that game. Turnovers, can't inball the bat, like can't inball, get the ball inbound. Damn, I can't speak. The one thing I can say is saving grace. I was freaking out on Tuesday. I thought Butler was going to beat UConn because they played terrible that second half, but they pulled it out.
Yeah, man, UConn's been skating danger a lot this year, but they ended up pulling that game out. But yeah, man, with Memphis, it's just because you look at the net right now, I haven't looked at this morning. They were at 42. I don't know if they moved up or down, but you gotta look at their resume and you scratching your head like, how are they down at 42, man, with the resume they have, the quad 1 and quad 2 wins they have? But that's just the reality, man, that they're in, man. When you're playing these lower tier teams every night, man, it's just hard to move up. You kind of look at some of these other power conference schools, and you look at their resume, and they're higher than Memphis in the debt, and you're like, man, this isn't fair. But that's just it is what it is, man. So they have to, when they're in conference, man, they need to blow these teams out, and that's something that they haven't been doing. And I think they FAFO last Tuesday against Temple, if you know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
They played lazy in that game. I mean, just getting beat on the boards, offensive rebounds is why they lost that game. And especially, man, you just can't come into these games lazy because these teams, you have a target on your back in this conference, night in and night out. I think Cal used to call them danger games. Every one of these games is a danger game because these teams, it's their Super Bowl. I mean, they're gunning for you. They're going to play their best basketball. If you come out lazy and not focused, these teams can beat you. And they got two on the home court this week, Wichita State tonight, and UAB, who's won 5 in a row, Andy Kennedy, saying that they're the hottest team in the country. I don't know about that. But they're both Q3 games, but I think UAB is a lot better than what that sounds like, and that's the tough part because if you lose that game, that's really bad, but that's a really good basketball team that you got to play really well to beat. So both of these teams, Wichita State's solid tonight as well. So that's just kind of where they're at, man. You got to come out. They got to have the focus. Got to start from the beginning. They've been having to let these teams get out the leads early in the games. That's just something that you can't keep doing, and Penny's talked a lot about that.
I think one of the reasons, though, that the Tigers, aren't necessarily blowing these teams out has simply to do with the lack of depth. I mean, I think you get tired legs. I also think that that's in their head. I mean, I don't think they have the pedal to the metal because they're trying to save up on like a little gas, and that also makes me a little bit nervous because again, that front court is thin.
Yeah, man. If they have an injury anywhere, like if they could lose one guy, they could completely derail their entire season. You talk about their front court super team, man. Even when guys get in foul trouble, it's Danger and Musa, man, and that's it. I mean, if you want to count Nick Jourdain as a pig, I guess, but that's pretty much it. When they lost, what's the kid name that transferred out? I mean, I can't even think of his name right now.
Smith,
God,
Tyron Smith.
Tyreek. You got it. Yeah, that was a big loss.
I always get the first letter right and the first name.
That was a
wrong.
Dallas Cowboy offensive lineman. You
know,
named.
I am terrible. Like I am funny. Sorry, Isaac.
Yeah, Tyreek Smith, man. I don't know why that name was escaping me, but when he transferred, that was big because they need a guy like that. That's a guy that just comes in, gives you 5 fouls, hustle guy, rebounds, can score and paint a little bit, and they're missing a guy like that because you would have had him playing. I think a lot of those Nick Jourdain minutes, and he's a little bit tougher than Jourdain, could get in there and kind of mix it up a little bit. Jourdain's a little bit more finesse, so they're kind of missing a guy like that. I think that would have completely changed the depth of this team, just having another guy like that you can go to. So Penny always, every game, has to try to manage whether with the fouls or whether he wants to put both of those guys on the floor at the same time, because a lot of times Nick Jourdain gets pushed around a little bit, and you want to play both of those guys, and then they get in foul trouble. That's just something that he has to juggle. I think they've done a pretty decent job of it, probably better than I expected in managing fouls with those guys, because I was looking early in the season, I was like, man, they're going to have a lot of trouble when these guys get in foul trouble, but they've kind of, to knock on wood to this point, done a solid job of kind of managing that, but it's always an issue, because again, man, one twisted ankle, anything like that, man, if it's one of those guys, and they have a real problem.
Yeah, they would definitely have a real problem. And right now, I don't like to, throw like these young people under the bus, and I'm not trying to throw him under the bus, but I'm going to tell you right now, every time I feel like Nick Jourdain has gotten almost worse each week. Am I crazy, or is he progressively getting worse? Yeah,
man, he struggled, and that's weird to see because I mean he's the senior, the guy that's been in this system, only guy that's been back, so you kind of expected him to have a big year, man. He's just really struggled at times, and that's, I think when you kind of look at the negative things that go on with this basketball team, almost every time Nick Jourdain is probably involved in what's going on that's negative. They just need him to be better. I mean, just a senior again, the only guy back from their roster last year outside of the walk-ons. He just he has to play better. Again, he pushed around, man. Just the IQ, man, just doesn't seem to be there. Just does a lot of bonehead stuff at times, man.
He's hesitant on everything he does. He's scared to death to take a shot. And again, right now, like I can't believe I'm going to say this. I know they have to play him because how thin they are. But in crunch time, I'd almost rather them either go 4 guards and 1 big, or there are 3 guards and Musa and Danger if one of them hadn't fouled out. Because when it comes down to crunch time, I don't even trust him on the court right now.
Yeah, because he's super hesitant, like you said, and that anytime you're playing like that, like you said, playing scared, it leads to mistakes. He makes a lot of mistakes, turnovers. He said he's scared to shoot. He's hesitant, so a lot of times he gets to the rim and he hesitates and ends up missing a layup. He's just, like you said, man, he's not a guy that you can trust, but kind of in the situation they're in, man, they don't have a lot of size. Penny's just kind of forced to play him. I see a lot of Tiger fans asking, like, why is he on the court so much? I mean, they don't really have a lot of choice. I think one game, a couple games ago, I can't remember what game that was, Penny kind of set him down. Penny lit him up on the sideline and kind of set him down. He came back in that game. He did play a little bit better in that game. I think that was 3 or 4 games ago. I can't remember exactly what game that was. But, yeah, man, he's kind of been a liability, but they're just kind of in a situation where, especially him being that guy that's been back from last year's team, they're just kind of in a position where they kind of have to play him.
Yeah, and right now, like, again, he has to step up. This team really, really needs him. Again, we were talking about how thin this basketball team is, and just right now, though, like, it just feels like I don't know what Penny's got to do, but he's got to figure out how to get this young man some confidence because they definitely need him. I don't know. Were you talking about maybe like the East Carolina game or?
Yeah, I think it might have been East Carolina. Yeah, he took him out, and he just blasted him on the sideline. He set him down for I think, longer than he probably said all year. And then he put him back in, and he played a little bit better after that. But he kind of reverted back to it the next game, kind of doing the same stuff we've been seeing pretty much throughout the year. And like you said, it seems like he's getting progressively worse. So that's not the trajectory that you want him to be on. So Penny has to find a way to get him playing better because, again, man, they need him for sure. I mean, anything they can get out of this front court, they got to get every bit of juice out of that orange they can get, man. And he just hasn't been there. Just really struggled throughout the season.
Nick, you're good enough, you're strong enough, and doggone it, people like you. Now get out there and play some basketball. Not trying to nitpick the Tigers today because it feels like I'm just coming with the negativity and I'm a positive person. I'm not trying to do that. But I am talking about concerns. Are you more concerned right now about their rebounding or their turnovers?
Probably the rebounding. I think as you saw in that loss against Temple, I mean, that's what that loss was about. I mean, just time after time, man, they have a great defensive possession and give up the offensive rebound and putback. I mean, we saw that. It's like a broken record over and over and over in that game. That's why they couldn't get back in the game, and they made that run in the second half. But every time they get a defensive stop, it seems like Temple was getting – I mean, there were times where they got 3-4 offensive rebounds on
they got
one possession.
22 offensive freaking rebounds.
I mean, they almost out-rebounded Memphis with offensive rebounds. I can't remember what the final was, but it wasn't that far off. I mean, Memphis total rebounds. They almost out-rebounded it with offensive rebounds. That's how bad it was in that game. And I mean, Memphis has, because when you look at that Temple team, it's not like, because we talked about this last week, Memphis had the size advantage on that team. There was just a lot of effort from that team. Not like Temple had a lot of big guys or anything on that team. They had that center that comes off the bench that doesn't even play. And I mean, he just came in and just the second half and just killed Memphis. I mean, this kid, I think, was averaging like 1 minute a game or something. But he came in and really, really hurt Memphis' offensive rebound. And Memphis had the size with Danger and Musa Cisse. It's just, they just let him. I think it was a lack of effort, man. They just seemed lazy in that game. And with the guards collectively have to crash the boards, and they just weren't doing that in that game. It's just never really. You could just tell from the onset, man. I could tell earlier, man. I was nervous in the first half. I was like, man, they just don't seem to have the energy. I know they were supposedly a lot of people in the building, man, wasn't loud in there at all. Not a lot of atmosphere, but man, you gotta create your own atmosphere, man. You just can't come out and be lazy like that. And they let Temple come out and jump on them, man. They just never could get back, and the effort just wasn't there. I'm sure Penny was extremely upset with the guys after that game because they just didn't even show up. And come back on the Charlotte game, and there were times in that game where they look really good. But
shoot, when they're hitting threes and they're frenetic, they look amazing. Yeah. And it's like when they get lackadaisical, turn things over, and sometimes go to sleep on the defensive end against a lower opponent like Charlotte. You're sometimes wondering what the hell they're doing. Yeah,
they have 4 or 5 minutes where they just stop scoring, and usually when they have those droughts offensively, they also lack on the defensive end. Because, I mean, they had a 22-point lead with like 4 or 5 minutes ago when they only ended up winning that game by 9, I think. And they needed that blowout because that mattered for them in the net. And because when you're playing these lower tier teams, you only beat them by single digits. I mean, they ended up not even covering the spread. I think the spread was
they did not cover the spread. I know.
Yeah, 12.5, 13, and it looked like they were going to cover that easily with about 3 or 4 minutes to go. And a parade to the free throw line, just lazy fouling, and ended up being a 9-point game in the end. And that's not good. I mean, I know people say a win is a win, and that's technically true. It definitely beats the alternative, but they really need to be blowing these teams out, and they haven't been covering the spread in these games, and that's something that they gotta look at going forward. Because as long as they're just barely pulling these games out, man, it's going to be a drag on their net rating. And when it comes to NCAA tournament selection time, that's going to matter.
Yeah, and the crazy thing about that game is with 5.5 minutes left, 5 minutes and 30 seconds left of the game, it was 71-49.
Yeah,
Memphis was up 22. They ended up only scoring 6 points over the final 5:30 of that game, and you let that Charlotte go 17-6 run, which is not a way to close out a basketball game, especially if you're trying to get into the net. Wichita State comes tonight. By the way, people, it's a 6 o'clock tip. Just the tip, the fun follows. But remember, it's a 6 o'clock tip. Make sure you're down at the Grindhouse early. Also, Tigers play on Sunday. We got Grizzlies tonight. We got so many things going on down at FedEx Forum. It's going to be bumping. My other question for you is, what do they need to do to beat Wichita State tonight and cover that 12.5?
Yeah, man. Like I said, Wichita State's a solid basketball team. I'm not going to say that they're
Right
good.
now, I
'Cause none of
believe
these teams.
they're 4-1 in the American, aren't they?
No, they're
Oh,
actually
no, 1-4, aren't they?
1-4, yeah.
I'm either dyslexic today or just stupid.
Yeah, but again, man, these teams are gunning for Memphis. They're going to play the game of their life. Like you said, you look at their 1-4, and you look at some of their other games in conference. I guarantee you, they can look a lot better than that when they come into FedEx Forum tonight. But kind of a reunion of sorts for Kobe Rogers. He played at Wichita State last year. Same coach, Paul Mills. He talked about this week, and he kind of said it's just another game, another conference opponent game they got to win. But you know, he has some thoughts about that. I think he's going to want to come out and play well. But Xavier Bell, their best player, he plays the 2 guard, 6'2", averages about 15 points per game, can really shoot it from three. He shoots about 44%. So he's a guy on the scouting report that you really have to look at, man, because he can really get going from three. Justin Hill, the starting point guard, 5'11". He also averages about 14 points a game. So they have some really good guards on this team. They're similar to Memphis. They don't really have a lot of depth. I mean, they only have like one guy off their bench that really does anything, running the Gray, kind of a 6'6", kind of a wing, averages about 6 points a game. He's really the only player that does anything off their bench. I think in their last game, they lost to East Carolina 75-72. They only got 3 points off the bench, and Running the Gray didn't even score. In that game, he wasn't even the guy that scored. So the depth shouldn't be an issue in Memphis. This is a game where Memphis should be able to cover in this game. On the home floor, especially kind of after 2 games where the loss to Temple and you won the Charlotte game, but I don't think you feel great coming out of that one. They need to come home and really put the pedal to the metal against this Wichita State team. They have the talent to do it. Wichita State doesn't have a lot of size. I think the guy they started at 4, he's only 6'5", Corey Washington. He can really rebound, though. That's one thing. We talk about that rebounding. Corey Washington starts at the 4, Quincy Ballard at the 5. Even though Corey Washington is 6'5", he averages about 8 rebounds a game, and so does Quincy Ballard. So they get close to 17 rebounds a game between those 2 guys. So they got to keep those guys off the board. But outside of that, man, I think Memphis, this is a game where this should be a 15-plus point victory. I don't think there's any question. They need that right now, and I think this is the game where they should be able to do it.
They feel Memphis is going to score a lot out in the desert. The total set at 156.5. It should be fun. It's at 6 o'clock tonight down at FedEx Forum. Make sure you're down there supporting your boys. Still 24th in the country in the top 25. Need a big win tonight against Wichita State. You know they're going to be back at it this Sunday. And by the way, you won't believe this, and it's probably UAB. That's right. We were talking. Thank you. The Andy Kennedy thing came back to me. Woo! I think drying out's also affected my brain. Do you believe that's possible?
What would you talking about UAB or?
No, I'm talking about me drying out, man. I've been sober. I've been doing dry January, bro. It feels like
man. I think that could be true. I think that could be true.
Whew, man. Hey, we're going to take a quick time out, Isaac. On the other side, we're going to talk about them Grizzlies. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey everybody, best thing about a new year is getting something new to drive. So I'm out here at Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet where all the Silverados are. Get $1,500 in extra savings when you trade in a 2011 or newer passenger car or light duty truck. 1.9 financing on new Blazers or 2.9 with no payments for 90 days on a new Equinox. Yes, you can be payment free until April and your good credit deserves it. If you're law enforcement, first responder, healthcare, military, education, recent grad, add, you get another $500 off. So let's go, because no one has a certified and pre-owned selection like All-Star Chevy. Silverado, Sierra trucks, Nissans, Toyotas, Fords, Jeeps. I mean, you gotta test drive this red Corvette Stingray. And if you got any vehicle you want to sell, bring it here to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch and get the most money for it today. Together, let's drive to All-Star Chevy's Fresh Start Sale, going on now in Olive Branch, or go to allstarautogroup.com.
The system at Sunrise on Jefferson and Sunrise East on Poplar is perfect. First, you order at the counter from the huge menu, chock full of deliciousness. Wait, before you do that, just make sure your entire party is there. Then, get in line. Then, order at the counter from the huge menu of deliciousness. Then, grab a number and head to any table you'd like. I mean, as long as there aren't people already sitting there. Then, before you know it, the best breakfast or lunch you can't find anywhere but Sunrise will arrive, piping hot and fresh. Remember, you can only stay an hour at Sunrise because people refuse to leave.
For over 8 decades, America's farmers have counted on the little red tractor from Case IH, the Farm Hall, to help them make short work of their demanding chores. Well, Mid-South Ag can show you they aren't just for farms anymore. With horsepower ranging from 30 to 105, plus an army of attachments, they can tackle every chore on your to-do list. From hauling and mowing to loading and towing and then some. Stop by Mid-South Ag Equipment or call 662-890-3141 to find a Case IH Farm Hall that's right for you.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director of Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Sometimes you just want to make friends, like the fun that comes from a quick and nimble 2024 Honda CB500F. This amazing style streetlight to narrow 71cc twin, along with sleek TNT display, dual disc brakes, and standard ABS, all making it feel progress. Find fun all-weather Lexus 2024 Honda CB500F, available at DeSoto Honda, 5656 Miller Road in Olive Branch.
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. It is a thirsty Thursday. Thank you so much to Tito's, the best spirit in the world, crafted and distilled right here in the United States in Austin, Texas. It's gluten-free, baby, because it's made from corn, and it's not Russian vodka, and it's not overpriced. It's not bougie, but it tastes delicious. It's the best spirit around, period. 4-time gold medal winner of the best vodka tonic and makes a mean martini. It's so daggum good you can drink it neat. Whatever you do, make sure when you go for your spirit, get the best spirit around. That's Tito's handmade vodka. I got Isaac Simpson up in the hizzy. We've been busy talking a lot of Tigers. They got a game tonight, 6 o'clock against Wichita State. It's down at FedEx Forum. Go and see your Tigers. They play Sunday against UAB. We need a couple big wins. We need the people to get out there and support. We also need the people to get out and support tonight. Make it a fun weekend all downtown. Make it a fun week all downtown. This is officially the first day of the weekend for me because Thursdays is when I start. But, man, we got Grizzlies action going on. They're playing the Pelicans. They are terrible, and we should beat the brakes off of them because we're awesome. Isaac Simpson is in the house. Isaac, how you feeling about your Grizz?
Hey, when is the 4 in a row? I think last night kind of similar to it. We both talking. It is ironic that it's both Charlotte. I think similar to what we saw in the Tigers game. The Grizzlies get up big in that game. I think they were up by as much as 35. End up winning by 12. I mean that's inevitable, especially in the NBA. If a team gets up that big early, you're gonna see some slippage, but I don't think you wanted to get down to 12. I'm sure the Grizzlies probably weren't super happy, kind of how that lead kind of dwindled away.
I don't think the Hornets ever one time from the tip had a lead in that game, did they?
No, they were Grizzlies led. No, the Grizzlies led wire to wire in that game. But they had to kind of play the starters late in that game because I think if you had kind of pulled them, which I kind of expected Taylor Jenkins to do because that's kind of been something that he gets criticized for with not playing the starters, not playing Ja long stretches. He kind of kept Ja in there for a long time, like longer than we were used to seeing him. I was kind of surprised with the lead that they had, but I think they needed to keep him in there because if they had taken those guys out, that thing might have got a little bit too close if they had pulled the starters out of that game. But, I mean, you win the game. They won it 4 in a row. Again, man, they're 2-0 on this homestand. Huge victory against Minnesota on MLK Day. A game that they can't come from behind, win a game that they usually lose that game this year. They've been kind of a team that either they blow you out or if you get into a close game, they usually don't pull those out. But they were able to do that against Minnesota. I think that was a big win. It was nice to see them be able to put a rally there together at the end and win that basketball game.
Those
so
two games against Minnesota, by the way, like they both were spectacular. And I just love the fact that Ant-Man decided to shoot the most contested shot I've seen in years and air ball while everybody else was wide open.
Yeah, Julius Randle just wide open under the goal, just right there. You give it to him, and he has a dunk probably with the way that they were guarding because they were locked in on Ant, and that was it. Like there was no other defensive game plan. He had 3 guys, I think, Derrick Jackson Jr., Desmond Bain, and John Morant all contested that jump shot. I saw they put an edit out on Twitter where they put it in slow motion, man. I think it's funny where they'll have they put these out where they'll say game winner and you guys shoot air ball, kind of making fun of them. That's kind of a thing that they do with NBA Central. But, yeah, man, if the Pelicans on Friday night and Utah on Saturday, that they should be able to close this out on 4-0 homestand, and they need it because that schedule that they have the rest of the season is extremely brutal. So when they have these opportunities against these bad teams on the home floor, they gotta take care of business, and they got 2 back-to-back on Friday and Saturday games where there should be double-digit favorites, and they should be able to pull both of those out before they close the bump with 2 tough games at Houston and a big one against at New York and a big one against Houston back here on the home floor at the end of the month.
LaMelo Ball was in Memphis last night. He is a very, very damn good basketball player, though. My question is, who's going to end up having the better career? Lonzo Ball, the oldest brother, or the youngest Ball brother, LiAngelo, who has the song out, Tweaker?
Yeah, I think LiAngelo is kind of the star right now, man. Just kind of came out of nowhere with this song. I don't know if even Nate felt that this was going to be something that just kind of took over like it did. It's just kind of become he kind of has a cult following right now. That song just kind of blew up out of nowhere, and I don't even necessarily think that he felt that was going to be something that turned this big, man. He's performing at NFL playoff games at halftime, and so he didn't work out in basketball for him, man, but looks like he has a career in music. So, man, shout out to LiAngelo, man. He kind of got something out of nothing there, I think. So, I think that was real interesting to see. But again, man, this Grizzlies basketball team, man, the trade deadline coming up in a couple of weeks. I think it's going to be interesting to see what this team does. I think with the roster they have, I think they need some consolidation because when you get D.G. Jackson, they're having trouble playing him. You got Jake LaRavia's out. You still got Marcus Smart and Vince Williams Jr. to return. Once those guys come back, man, they got to have a problem trying to figure out this rotation. So I just think they have too many guys that need minutes, man. They need to make a trade, not only just to improve the team, but just for consolidation's sake.
Only time there's too many wings is when we're talking about Grizzlies because I can eat those damn things all day long.
You're 100% there.
Isaac, man, tell me what's coming down the pipe, what you working on. I know everybody can follow you at IsaacW_NBA. What else you got coming down the pipe?
Yeah, man, definitely, man. A new podcast is coming, man. I'm working on it, man. Just got a lot of stuff going on right now, but the We Are Memphis podcast is coming soon, so be on the lookout for that, as John said. Find me on the X at Isaac_NBA.
Isaac, be blessed, my friend. We'll do it again next week. And last but not least, who you got? Commanders, Eagles, Bills, KC.
Man, I'd love for it to be Commanders Bills because I'm just tired of Kansas City. But I think it's probably going to end up being Eagles Chiefs. But again, man, I would love to see the Bills get in there. I think they've come up short year after year, man. For them to finally break through and get the Super Bowl, I'd like to see that. And as a Cowboys fan, I know it's Eagles Commanders, both in the NFC East team, but I never want Philly to win anything. So go Commanders.
Man, be blessed, Isaac. Thanks for your time, and have a wonderful Thirsty Thursday. That's my homie, Isaac. We're going to take a time out. We got to talk to this sweet Evie Van Pelt, who was hot under the collar last night as Ole Miss blew it against Texas A&M. We're talking Rebels on the other side. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
This is Sheldon Rosengard from Lost Ben Store Realtors. Why did I throw in home sales at this time of year? Because I have sold homes on the day before Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, and New Year's Day. Whether it's someone transferring in through a relocation network or someone just starting their home search, homes sell all year long, just like my golf game being banned all year long. I may be called Mr. Three-Putt, but at least I'm consistent. If you or someone you know is thinking of selling, make sure and talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers, but make sure I'm one of them. Find out how my highly successful strategic marketing program can get the winning score you need. Call me and find out why people often say when you want the job done, call Shell Done. 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com. Go for that goal and call me. Shell Done at 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
You know, I think people forget there's a Central Barbecue location in South Haven.
And that's on us.
Well, you...
What does that mean?
Well, you're the spokesperson for Central Barbecue. It's your responsibility to remind people there's a Central Barbecue in South Haven.
It's very convenient that I'm the spokesperson when there's responsibility to be taken.
Just mention the Central Barbecue location in South Haven.
I got a lot to remember. There's the location on Butler downtown. There's a location on Summer, on Poplar.
And Getwell Road in South Haven. How hard is that?
I've heard you call yourself a spokesperson for Central Barbecue.
It was just to pick up chicks.
Mid-South, it's time for a new year and a new ride from Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Get 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage, a perfect compact hatchback for commutes, getaways, and just about everything else for $299 a month. Or buy Mirage for $18,410, gets 43 MPG highway. Or take your pick from 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid PHEV, named 2025 Family Green Car of the Year for 3 straight years. Or 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander, now just $399 a month. Plus, get peace of mind with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Get to Gossett Mitsubishi today to start your year off right. 1870 Covington Pike and 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Military rebate Mirage RHO 15630, MSRP 18410, PHEV RZO 66681, MSRP 42750, Outlander RZO 88655, MSRP 32770. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis, with Dave Woloshin, weekday mornings from 10 to 11.
That was one of those things. When things get too heavy, just call me helium.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 at 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. It's a beautiful, thirsty Thursday. Man, it's nice outside. If you just chilling, sitting at the crib, maybe sitting in your office, and you're thinking to yourself, you're a little bit hungry, I got a spot for you. Los Cabos, right there at Summer and Graham, where the flavors of Mexico melt in your mouth. They also got happy hour 3 to 8 daily. Yeah, so when you get off work, or if you're off work and you're ready to go hang out with some good peeps, a lot of TVs, always turn to sports. Right there at Summer and Graham is Los Cabos. And again, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily, lunch specials, $7 to $11. Yep, that's Los Cabos right there at Summer and Graham, where the flavors of Mexico melt in your mouth. The sweet Evie Van Pelt. Always level, always kind, compassion. Just sweet. She's the founder, she's the publisher of the Rebel Walk, your number one source for all things Ole Miss sports information. But I can tell you, Evie was a little hot last night. I was too, and I think all Ole Miss fans were just frustrated at the final 3-4 minutes of that basketball game, not being able to inbound, turning the ball over, not attacking the rim, looking like they just were trying to wash away the time and hope for the end of the basketball game. It was buck wild. It was a gut wrencher. You hold Wade Taylor, I think it was 2 of 12. He was just terrible, and lose that basketball game, it hurts, especially after being undefeated in the SEC, and then they dropped their first game down in Starkville against against the Bulldogs in the Egg Bowl in overtime. Now they had their hearts ripped out again. What do the boys have to do to get off the mat? Evie, welcome to the show, and I hope you're doing better today.
Oh, I am. I was laughing when you were saying that about all those very kind things about me, because I surely did text you last night after that game, frustrated at that, in a second largest crowd ever in the history of the SJB Pavilion last night, 10,008 screaming, excited Rebel fans, and man, for your opponent to have his first lead of the game at 13 seconds to go in the game, it's just, oh my gosh, is there just a more gut-wrenching way to lose a game? So yeah, that was that coming on the heels, you're right, of Starkville, that loss, that overtime loss. Although, that felt a little different. To me, it's like you almost felt kind of lucky to be back in it at the end of that one after being down so far at the start of that game.
Yes, you were excited. Like that game, the feel is, you are so right, Evie, the feel is totally different. Because, again, I was watching the basketball game last night. I actually bet on the basketball game last night. I thought I had that win really easily. And then down the stretch, I am seriously going, no way. Like, they are throwing this joint right down the toilet. And I was at first talking about the line. I didn't think they were going to blow it and lose the game. It's like you almost had to play just terrible basketball as poorly as Texas A&M was shooting to lose that basketball game. And I saw Chris Beer, thank you for sending that to me. He was frustrated last night.
Right. And I think, okay, so Ole Miss is up 62-58 with 26 seconds left to go in the game after Matt Morrell made his
both of those free throws.
God love him. Yes, 62-58, 26 seconds. And, I thought it was interesting. So, yes, Beard was definitely frustrated, but it was funny. It was almost, I'm not going to say he was in shock, but he just basically, the words he used, he just said, we went from, it was almost mathematically won. The game was almost mathematically won, is how he described it. And he said it's mathematically over if we can just inbound the ball, make one or two passes, absorb their foul, hit a free throw. Much less the fact that Ole Miss only got to the free throw line 4 times in the entirety of that SEC physical basketball game. Now, A&M only got there 9 times, so, it's not like, there was a huge disparity, but, 4 times, Beard was asked about that, and he's always real careful to say the SEC basketball referees are the best in the country, and, whatever do you even want to think about that, but he is always, very complimentary towards them about that, but he did say, it is a little hard. He said that's 2 physical teams playing. And he said it was really, this is a quote, it was really hard to understand and comprehend from where I was sitting that we played 16, 17 minutes of SEC basketball and there's only 1 foul on the opponent.
Correct. They had to foul a bunch at the end just to get Ole Miss to the free throw line.
Right.
And I did talk about this a little bit earlier, and I'm going to expound on it, but just watching basketball across the country, the West Coast Conference, you watch Air Force had over 40 free throw attempts last night against San Diego State. It was the most boring game I've ever watched. It never would have gone over the total if they called a foul on every damn play.
Yeah, nobody wants to see that.
That was
Yeah,
not fun.
nobody.
Now, the SEC is more like football when you watch them out there. So the game is definitely officiated totally different. That's one thing I'm going to kind of focus on when the NCAA tournaments. I got to learn more about the officiating crews and how they're going to call these games because I think that's going to have a lot to do with handicapping. But back to the Rebels.
Agree.
The Rebels last night, one of the other things that was frustrating is Matthew Morrell's 2 free throws were the only points scored in the final 4 minutes of the game for the Rebels. Think about that.
Yes.
They in 4 minutes they only hit 2 free throws. They missed every damn field goal down the stretch, and one of them, it went all the way, everything but in, and somehow spun out. Like it was like they put a lid on the damn rim.
I know it just. So many things that could go wrong did go wrong in that. And it just, and it's interesting because, Beard was really, really, obviously disappointed. But how often do you hear a coach say, this was interesting to me, I thought our guys deserved to win tonight. We played well. We executed the scouting report for 38 minutes. Just some routine plays you have to make when the game is basically mathematically over. And to me, I think the thing that frustrated me is that this is a veteran team.
Yep.
This is an older team. And so to me, some of those, the mental mistakes, inbounding the ball there late.
Which is just ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a tough one from and I think there was some sort of a confusion, the inbounder, Padula, thought maybe Brakefield was going a different, whatever, but you just can't have that kind of mistake there in these these critical SEC games. And I think also, one that I struggled with, I think I complained to you about it, and this is no shade on any player, but I just think, when you're going to be fouled, I think you've got to get the ball in
to people who can make
coming
the ball.
Out of the time.
Like
yes,
Matthew Morrell shoots 77%. Get it down.
Yes. Yeah, and that, don't forget, that was coming out of a timeout. You had time to kind of figure out, okay, here's who's going to inbound it, and here's who we're going to try and get it to. So, I don't know. That was just, shoulda, coulda, woulda, and that was really, really, really frustrating. And and A&M, we knew coming into the game that A&M is the number one offensive rebounding team in the country. But I think that rebound disparity, again, 31 full miss, 48 for A&M. Now, that's the bad news. Now, if you want to say the good news, if there is any good news,
well, you controlled the game for 36 minutes. But
and that's a good A&M team. Beard said that is a very good A&M team, and they're in some dogfights here in January, and some teams may not get a ton of close games against quality teams, and then look lost going into March. So maybe they're getting some opportunities to try some different things. I think it was not a bad loss from a metrics point of view, a quadrant 1 loss, but definitely, from a fan point of view.
And it would have been a big win, though, too. Again, it was mathematically almost impossible. I hate to say it, and again, I love Sean. Again, you talked about him earlier. He does have a little bit of a little Marshall in him. He can shoot the three.
Yeah.
He's been stealing basketballs left and right. He's playing better defense than he's ever played in his life. I was thinking we were going to come in here and talk about how I love Sean, Matthew Morrell, the top ever recruit. Ole Miss has has now played more games than anybody in Ole Miss history. He's shooting up the leaderboard all over the place. All of that was in me last night. That's what I was bringing to the show. And then today, all I can think about is just settling for over the final 4 minutes. I think Sean shot 3 3-pointers and missed them. He had a bad turnover, and it felt like they just quit executing and were just literally milking clock.
Right, and Beard also talked about how we went late into the clock shot. A lot of those also, and and it felt like that. It felt like we were going way into the shot clock, and then just like scrambling, then just throwing up a prayer or something, I don't know. But, again, that being said, I guess we need to look at it this way. The SEC is a gauntlet. No one's expecting, Ole Miss to be like 25-5. So I guess, losing one to a higher ranked quadrant 1 team is an okay loss when you look at it that way. It's so hard when it's at home in front of that many fans and who are all behind you, and you have it won. Literally, how are you ahead for the entire game except for 13 seconds? That's the gut punch. I think that's what it was. That was just a gut punch.
Yeah, that was that definitely was a gut punch. Now, just kind of bringing back, because you mentioned it, like, again, watching the Air Force game last night it blew my mind how many fouls they called in that basketball game. When you look around the country, like the ACC calls it much more tight. Do you think that this could have a negative effect on a conference that's going to have everybody and their grandmother almost get in the NCAA tournament? Because if you don't face an SEC officiating crew, I mean, as physical as these games have been, like Tuesday and Wednesday night, I think are more physical than Maction during football season. The SEC games are wild.
They are, and I really hadn't thought about that until you just mentioned it. That could really, really affect, depending on the officiating crew. You put that A&M Ole Miss game in with the officiating that you were talking about last night. How many fouls would there have been? I mean, I just can't even imagine, because we're used to playing tough, hard-nosed ball here, and what is going to happen? I mean, we are going to really have to look at the officiating crews. And it's like Beard said. He said, what, like with A&M, a lot of what they do is ISO ball. So one guy has the ball, everybody's spaced out, and he said, so there's not a lot of nights where you see the foul on the ball, but there's a lot of action and a lot of physicality going on off the ball. And so, what would be happening if the other officiating crew would have been calling this game last night? Crazy.
The crazy thing is like if you just compare the two games that I watched basically back to back, the Texas A&M Ole Miss game. Also watched that Arkansas. Had the 2 TV system going last night. Arkansas pulling that bad boy out last night. Cal needed that one so bad. I still can't believe they pulled it out because I thought Georgia was about to roll them. They played so bad down the stretch. It's not funny. But watching the A&M Ole Miss game, we only saw the whole game 13 free throws.
Yeah.
When I watched San Diego State and Air Force took 44 themselves. Wow. San Diego State shot 28. That's 70 freaking 2 free throws in a basketball game.
It's just unreal, isn't it? I mean, to think about that, to think of, Ole Miss was 3 for 4 from the free throw line in the entirety of a game. It's mind-boggling, isn't it? It really is.
I'm telling you, I'm already starting my handicapping. I'm paying attention to officiating crews right now. I gotta get this ready for the NCAA tournament, Evie.
I mean, that's the thing you're going to have to do because it absolutely will make a difference. So definitely keep an eye out where those other guys are and where the SEC guys are, and because it just, really and truly, that is a huge difference. I mean, again, it boggles my mind to think that you could only get to the free throw line 4 times in an SEC game.
Well, I mean, honestly, though, in that Arkansas, I'm just saying the fit. Like, oh my gosh, did you watch Missouri and Texas by any chance?
Yes, I did.
One, it looked like a football score the first 10 minutes of the game. I think it was 9-6. Go like at least 11 minutes left in the first quarter. It was weird. That was a very low scoring game. But again, there was some banging going on in that game. If you watch Tennessee when they played, who they beat the brakes off of the other night, Mississippi State. Like that was a physical basketball game. So we got to pay attention to that. Now I got to jump off basketball for you because I could talk all day about officiating crews, gambling, and doing this. How's everything going with all the portal over there with the football team and the main man, Lane Kiffin?
You know what? That's always a pleasure to talk about. Ole Miss continues to do well. They added Penn State transfer wide receiver Harrison Trey Wallace. He was the number one available wide receiver in the portal. Doing a great job. Gotta commit. I mean, Lane is never going to be at a loss for wide receivers. So gotta commit yesterday actually from a 2026 kid, Jamison Powell, a 4-star wide receiver from California, and he's going to be a good one. He's another speedy wide receiver, and he plays his quarterback with his high school team, Folsom, is a kid by the name of Ryder Lyons, who is also a top priority for Lane Kiffin. He is, I think, the number 2 overall quarterback in the class of 2026. So that would be cool. It's nice to have an in with him. Things are, going well. I think I read somewhere, Ole Miss, I believe, is ranked number 2 in the transfer portal right now, depending on which outlet you look at. And, somebody said, basically they're, one player away from taking over number 1 again. So, but regardless, they're doing a great job there. I think the Rebels have like maybe 24 commits. Folks can go look at we have a transfer portal tracker up at the top of the rebelwalk.com. They can take a look and see who those players are. But, so far so good. Another good season for the Portal King, and I think we'll see coming up, we've got the Senior Bowl that will be coming up February 2nd and in Mobile, and we're scheduled to be there for that. The Rebels have like 6 players. I think they've got 9 players projected in the draft, to be drafted in this year's draft. So this is going to be a really fun draft year to watch.
This will be a fun draft year to watch. I'm excited for that. I did get a text from my buddy Briscoe and Mary Helen are huge Ole Miss fans, and I see them in the Grove every single Saturday that they play. They want to know, have they filled the holes on the defense and offensive line that have been opened up since the departure of many, many players to the National Football League?
Well, I think 4 of those 9 players, I believe, might be on the defensive line. You and I have talked about this before. That is a heck of a group to try and think that you're going to replace with Walter Nolan and Jared
the best
Ivey
group
and
in
JJ.
college football.
Absolutely. It's just that's a tough one. But that being said, I think that they're, I like to tell Ole Miss fans who are worried about that. My words are, in Pete I trust, and so in Lane I trust, but man, when it comes to that defense, in Pete I trust, and thus far in the portal, I'm really looking forward to seeing, we got Princely Umanmialen's brother, Prince Will Umanmialen. He is a transfer and from Nebraska, I believe, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do. I think they've got some guys returning that are, I think, Xavier Harris had a good year last season. Jamarius Brown, I think so. We've got some. I think Cam Franklin was a freshman last year. I think he's going to be really good. But we picked up defensive end from LSU, Deshaun Womack, and then, like I said, Umanmialen is an edge. Got him, and so I think that we'll probably maybe see a little bit more action in the portal, and then again in the spring. I think you'll definitely see some movement in the spring.
I know, everything with the portal is going good with the wide receivers, and I know you got a whole lot of guys coming back, and everything's got to meld together, and everybody's always freaking about a little bit of football, but just calm down. Things are looking pretty good, and one thing that I feel looks great because the average person doesn't really understand. I've heard, who are we replacing with Jackson Dart? Who they got out in the portal? And I'm like, no. Pump your brakes. Austin Simmons is the truth. He is not a little lefty. He is a monster of a man. He's about 6'4" now.
Yes.
He can run.
Yes.
He's cool, calm, and collected under pressure. You saw that on fourth down against Georgia this year. I believe he's going to be on fire. And I also appreciate that y'all went out there and confirmed, because I was speculating and talking to a few people, and I'm like, he's not going to play baseball this year. He's been on the baseball every team. He's a great left-handed pitcher, but he's the quarterback for the Ole Miss Rebels replacing Jackson Dart, and he's got aspirations to play in the league.
Absolutely. And, it's funny. I don't know if you saw this. You probably did. But he had on his Instagram story, he had a picture after the national championship game. Yep. And it was a picture of Ohio State, the players everybody rushing the field. And he wrote on there, "We will be here, mark my words." And good for you, young fella. And he, as you said, he has now, said that he is going to focus only on football. And I'm sure that's got to be a big relief for Lane Kiffin, because you and I talked about it last year when Austin was pitching, and he is a heck of a pitcher, just a heck of a lefty pitcher. But when he was out there and he threw the ball and you heard him kind of exclaim, and then, all of a sudden he's going down into the locker room and grabbing his arm, and everybody's just, worried about the worst. And Lane Kiffin is at that game in the stands, and Lane Kiffin trots down, through, makes his way down into the locker room. You're like, I'm thinking Lane is going to want to put the kibosh on that and keep his star quarterback. So that is what's happening. Simmons is doing a great job in recruiting. And, again, what's so cool to me is, like we've said before, Dart had the benefit of, he's been such a leader, and Simmons has watched him. And we saw how Corral was, and the players saw what a leader he was. And so I think Austin Simmons is picking up the mantle of what he has seen with Jackson Dart, who, I'll be honest, I think Dart has been one of the best leaders to come through this program that I can remember.
He's one of the most focused young men ever. I mean, my Lord, this guy doesn't go out. He's always got football players over at his house. They are studying film. They are working on football. Like, he takes this as, this is his job. So I hope Jackson has a wonderful career, but I'm looking forward to Austin Simmons. But I know Lane Kiffin's happy. I think Mike's got to be just furious internally, because remember, his last 3 starts over 14 innings, struck out 20 batters, 173 batting average, and allowed 0 runs.
Yeah, that's got to be tough. I think the only thing that is going to help Mike, kind of assuage the pain there at all, is that we'll have Hunter Elliott back this year.
Stay healthy, baby.
Time. Yes.
My fingers are crossed. This young man needs to catch a break.
Man, he really does. From what I've heard, his velocity is up. His changeup is still good. And if he can be the same level of competitor that he was, just that competitive mental game there that he was as a freshman, I think Ole Miss Mike will be in good shape. His breaking ball was better this fall from everything we heard, so that's going to be good. I think what we're looking at, you didn't ask me, but I think we're looking at probably Riley Maddox, Hunter Elliott, and Mason Nichols being
Friday,
the
Saturday,
3
Sunday
starting.
starters.
Yeah, right. That's what I think. Maybe Cade Townsend, maybe midweek, but and they've got Mason Morris back and Connor Spencer, and so we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And my gosh, it's almost fixing to be time for that. Dallas, February 14th and 16th, 14th through 16th. Ole Miss will face Arizona, Texas, and Clemson that weekend. So that's going to be a good one. I'm planning on being there.
Heck
so
yeah!
Just to let folks know, hoping to be there and cover that. But definitely, I think in terms of football, Austin is the guy, and you're right. When fans kept saying, well, why haven't we gotten a quarterback? Why haven't we gotten a quarterback? We got the quarterback. We may get a quarterback, but we've got the quarterback is there right now back at work. We saw photos of him yesterday or day before working out. They're working out, and he is resolute and ready to go.
I know I'm already always fired up for a little Ole Miss football. Basketball's doing well. Tough, heartbreaking loss last night to A&M. Heartbreaking loss, but you felt good about the fight against the Egg Ball down in Starkville. It's tough to play on the road in the SEC. It's an absolute beast. Baseball for Mike. How we feeling again? Basketball's on the rise. Football's still on the rise. Well, we finished 10th in the country, I believe. Final AP poll. 11th, man. You were wrong, writers.
Yeah, we finished 11th. That one was a little frustrating to me. I think there were a few teams ahead of Ole Miss that just, not really sure what those AP voters are doing sometimes. I mean, because that one, that final poll, I just felt like
Boise
based
State
on
9? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, exactly. And
Or 8,
I
sorry,
mean,
8. Arizona State
yeah.
7? Man, they got to check themselves before they wreck themselves.
Indiana is number 10. Indiana's a number 10 ahead of Ole Miss. That was silly to me. So we won't go there, but I guess to your point, I think Mike, this needs to be a good year, if for no other reason than I think 2 years in a row of missing out on the SEC tournament. Of course, everybody makes it
this
now.
year, though.
Yeah,
everybody gets a trophy.
Everybody gets a trophy. But I just think that, the SEC is going to be a gauntlet this year again. And, that just seems to be the theme that we keep saying across every sport. But, I think it's just going to be another tough one. And it's going to be, Ole Miss is they're going to have a rough go. I think this coming year, a 12 and 18 team will get into the NCAA tournament. Now, I hope that 12 and 18 team is not, I hope that's not Ole Miss's record, but this team is older. I think, they lost, like we talked about, you lost Andrew Fisher, you lost Liam
Doyle. Both went to Tennessee, didn't they?
Yes, they did. They did.
Tony V scares me.
Tony V scares me too. But I do think it's going to be interesting to see how the new pitching coach plays, how Mangrum works with Bianco. I think we'll get I think he could, if Bianco lets him, I think he could put Bianco in a much better position for the team to be successful this year. So anyway, I am excited about getting to see him play, and let's hope it's different from the last 2 seasons, because ain't nobody want to see that.
No, ma'am, they do not. Evie, thank you so much for your time. Thank you. I appreciate it. Everybody, make sure you go to therebelwalk.com. It's your number one source for all things Ole Miss sports information. Oh, and by the way, don't forget, Ole Miss did get a national championship.
Ole Miss I was just going to say that. Ole Miss cheer brought home the national title. And our readers need to be on the lookout, because I believe we are going to have an interview, hopefully set up soon, with one Natty winning Savannah Hardin, and to talk about that national title. So how awesome is that?
Oh, if you could only see my grin right now. I'm a very, very proud papa, and those girls work so damn hard. A lot of people don't even have a clue how hard and how often they work. It's like year round, and then right after Christmas, then you get away for Christmas Day, you're back working. You get away for New Year's Eve, and then you're back working. Everybody's gone. The girls are down there working for the championship, and they got it. And
do they get a ring? Surely they get a ring.
They get all kinds of gear. Like right now, I'm going to tell you right now, and also for like Savannah, I do have to say, a lot of people don't realize NIL goes for everybody. These girls are actually going to get a little bit more change in their pocket. Jingle, jingle.
Oh, jingle, jingle. Absolutely. Well, they absolutely deserve it, and I'm looking forward to getting an article out there, because you're right. I don't think people have any idea the amount of blood, sweat, and tears, and hours, and aches and pains, and everything that go into what they do, and especially into being a national champion.
The best of the best, baby. Yeah, I'm so proud of those girls.
Me too. I was so excited to see, and it was really cool to get to see the the video of them. Were you able to watch it? Like, did you have any kind of stream?
Oh, yeah,
where
no,
you
I was
could...
watching that bad boy.
Oh,
I'll be
did
there
you know
next
as
year. Like, I
soon-
couldn't go this year. And I literally was so upset with myself because this is the year, like, I could, like, listening to Savannah tell me, she's like, we're doing the hardest routine we've ever done.
So they knew.
They were like, if we hit
knew.
it, there's no way they won't lose because nobody was doing what they were doing, not even close to their level.
So, like, their degree of difficulty was such that if they nailed it, then they knew they were going to be. Because, see, that was the thing I was seeing. And, I mean, it looked like when they finished, when they nailed it, they knew.
They knew. I knew. And I'm at home and I looked over and I go, oh, my God, they just won the Natty. And then I had to wait hours to make sure I was right.
Yeah. Well, what a thrilling time. And I know, gosh, I tell you what, I posted the video and the announcement that they had won on several different Facebook groups, and that's been the largest viewed post with the most engagement that we've had, even above Lane and football and transfer portal. So everybody was excited for the girls.
Evie, thank you so much for all that you do. I appreciate your time. I just realized it's 12:40. Holy cow, I kept you so long, and I really do appreciate it. I want you to have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend, and tell your husband I said, what's up?
I will. Y'all have a great weekend. Thank you so much for having me.
That is the wonderful, the sweet Evie Van Pelt. I'm so late for a break. Do me a favor, though. While I'm late, decide. Make your decision. Come on, it's now. You're hungry? Go to Los Cabos Summer and Graham, where the flavors of Mexico melt in your mouth like their lunch specials, 10 to 3 daily, $7 to $11. You can't beat it. Happy hour, 3 to 8. Let's go to Los Cabos, right there at Summer and Graham. I got a little wood to give you on the other side. I got bets still to give you, so do me a favor, don't disappear. We're back in 2 Shake Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Sports 56 happy hour on Sports 56 at 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. And once again, Johnny Radio. Fall is football at the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland, Town Square. Monday through Friday, it's happy hour from 3 to 6. $1 off all travel meals, $5 off meal trains, $4.50 for house wine, mozzarella sticks, queso, $4 a day. Friday night lights from 7 o'clock. Dining in my grill, Wednesday night. Free on watch college football every home game. Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill. Highway 70, Fall.
I had the worst dream last night. We were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes, and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit GetEthos.com. That's GetEthos.com.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Jenkins Floors and More invites you to their retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. Jenkins Floors in Little Rock, Cleveland, Mississippi, and now open in Horn Lake at 2356 West Goodman Road. Specializing in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds, Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround.
contractors, builders, or family projects, call 662-469-9350 for a free estimate. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business. Take your basketball skills to the next level at Shoot 360 Memphis. Shoot 360 is a revolutionary basketball training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with gamification and provides instant objective feedback, hands-on, one-on-one expert coaching. And now, introducing Shoot 360 for you, a newly renovated 50,000 square foot facility with 2 NBA regulation-sized courts, 3 high school-sized courts, and 4 shooting bays with Shoot 360 technology. Memberships are now on a monthly basis. And yes, you can become a member in both locations. Whether you're an aspiring young talent, NBA player, or looking for a unique workout, all skill levels are welcome at Shoot 360 Memphis to learn proper shooting and passing techniques, improve fundamentals, and gain a competitive edge while having fun. Shoot 360 Memphis now in Cordova and Collierville. Call them today at 901-779-3176. That's 901-779-3176. The future of basketball training is here. Shoot 360 Memphis.
4.9 and I'm about to find out. Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 at 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tino's Vodka. And once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. Man, y'all been listening to me for a long, long time, haven't you? Because, dude, I done somehow skipped a break. Whoops. You know what? It's because I'm excited. It's my weekend. It is Thursday. I'm
Nope. I know exactly what it was. It was the cops.
Oh, they got me off?
Yeah, it was the cops. The 11 o'clock
first
cops.
segment,
It was the
yeah,
cops.
it's kind of got me a little bit off because
You didn't talk really any sports.
Because I didn't get, I didn't get my feel going. But by the way, speaking of the police,
Being a great citizen.
if you want to join the force, right now is your opportunity. This Saturday, January 25th, from 11 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Free parking at the Mud Island Garage. You go to 170 North Main Street. They are having their Officers Expo because the Academy starts on March 22nd. They start your payout at $56,000. They give you a $15,000 bonus. You make it to the Academy the first day, you get a $7,500 bonus day one. When you finish the Academy, $7,500 bonus once it's done. And guess what you get? $56,000 to start out your pay. Memphis Police Department. Join the best in blue. Help out your community. And before you head on down there, make sure you bring your driver's license when you go down there. But before you go, make it easy on you. Go to joinmpd.com. Go ahead and fill out your paperwork so it's all done. You just go get down there, talk to the recruiters. Bing, bang, boom. The magic starts. And March 22nd, you'll be on your way. And did you ever watch the movie Police Academy?
Oh, of course. 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Man, dude, back in the day, Police Academy was such a good movie. Damn, I miss, they don't make stupid stuff anymore.
Because people don't watch them anymore, John. We have low tolerance for
No, it's because the movies that are supposed to be stupid and funny suck. Simple as that. There's not funny people anymore. You can't even make fun of anything. Jokes now are like, ooh, did you just make fun of a person with mental disorder?
Yep, and everything's reality.
I
TV.
sure did. Teens need to go get mental health. Literally. But anyway, by the way, I don't think tees are allowed to play in sports anymore. Do you know that? Keep your ass out them games, son. If you want to play with. If you have a Y chromosome, you play with men. If you got 2 X's, you're 1 X away from starring in late night films. But if you have 2 X's and no Y's, you're a woman. Now, Police Academy was a dope show. And I want to gamble. Memphis Tigers, 6 o'clock against Wichita State. For some crazy reason, I feel like they come out there angry and hungry. They're back at the house. They were on the road against Charlotte. They were on the road against Temple. They're back at the crib. Hopefully people go out on a Thursday night. They're back at the crib on Sunday playing UAB. Be focused this weekend because we have basketball tonight at FedEx Forum. We got basketball tomorrow night at FedEx Forum. We got basketball on Saturday at FedEx Forum. The Friday, Saturday is the Grizz. You got a little Grizz sandwich going on if you didn't know that. 6 o'clock, 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 6 That's kind of gross, isn't it? Like Utah is Saturday, which is a good thing because I'll be down there on Saturday living the sweet life, enjoying life, drinking my Tito's because life hands me lemons. I don't freak out. I don't fret. I don't stress. I just make a lemon drop, make sure it's with the best, and that's Tito's handmade vodka. But tomorrow night, I forgot who they play. Lord have mercy. Oh, Pelicans. Is Zion's big fat self going to be playing?
No, he's probably not.
Dude,
but you get a free Grizzly air freshener if you're one of the first 5,000 fans down there.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, they're going to give you a Grizz air freshener.
Is it like to put in your car?
Yeah, to put in your car.
You know, we were talking about joining the police department and the Grizzlies are giving out air fresheners so people can't smell marijuana. This is kind of a little contradicting. Almost like me talking with the police on my radio show. Now, if you do join the Men in Blue, whatever you do, if you pull me over in the future, you say, "What up?"
Because technically you would have gotten them the job, right?
Yeah, I got you a job. I got you hired. I got you there. Give me love. Give me love. Give me love. Again, for real, though, if you want to join the MPD and you've been thinking about it just a little bit, find out more. 11 to 3, 170 North Main Street, downtown. Park at the Mud Island Garage. It's going to be free for you. Head on over there. Go to joinmpd.com. Bing, bang, boom. Life is good. And on March 22nd, you could be getting a check for $7,500 and starting the academy. Now, if you were in the academy, out of the police academy people, which one would you be, Darian? Can you make a bunch of crazy voices?
Oh, no, I'm easily the traffic guy. I'm the traffic guy.
Wasn't that the fat dude?
Oh, no, you're talking about police academy. I thought you were like a real world. Okay, I'm Commandant Lassard.
Oh, you're Lassard?
Yeah, I'm Commandant Lassard.
You just love being a heel and rude to people and telling everybody what to do. Does that at Channel 5 all the time. Oh, Lord have mercy. You know what? I got to fit in one more break before I give you my bet. So we're going to take a small time out. On the other side, it's all about winning money. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11, here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director of Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Tiger Nation, don't miss the action when Memphis men's basketball returns to FedEx Forum for 2 games this week. The Tigers host Wichita State Thursday, January 23rd at 6, and then welcome UAB to the 901 Sunday, January 26th at noon for the Stripe Out game. It's time to stand up, Memphis, and support your Tigers at FedEx Forum for 2 big-time matchups you do not want to miss. Get your tickets now at GoTigersGo.com.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, sounds very impressive. And if you switch and save hundreds, you can massage it in your scalp every day. For shampoo. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
All 650 acquisition fee, 20,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, EV6, 36-month lease, RU 621,425, 36-month lease, MSRP 55,820, K4 SEO 64,461, MSRP 24,715, Telluride SG 596,204, MSRP 41,060, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through KFA, excludes tax title license with approved credit, dealer stock only, see dealer for complete details, offer valid through 131/24.
I got Jeff Allen on the line. He's doing numbers I've never heard of before at Gossen Kia South on Mount Moriah.
Randy, when's the last time you heard of a new ride at $163 a month with electric EPA range of estimate 310? I got it in a 2024 Kia EV6, $63.96 due at signing, 36-month lease. Or a 2025 K4 GT Line, $206 a month, $34.99 due at signing, 24-month lease. 2025 Telluride S front-wheel drive, $398 per month, $39.99 due at signing, 24-month lease.
And every Gossett Kia comes with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy, Johnny Radio. It's the last segment of the day. If you're hungry out there, head over to Los Cabos right there at Summer and Graham. Let the flavors of Mexico melt in your mouth. Lunch specials 10 to 3 daily. Happy Hour 3 to 8 daily. Yeah, how you like me now? Summer and Graham. That's where Los Cabos is. I got to give you a bet. We're talking Memphis Tigers. I don't usually bet on the Tigers, but I'm not betting on the side. If I was to bet on the side, I think I'd have to lean a little bit on Wichita State plus the 12.5. Just simply because the Tigers haven't been blowing everybody out. Wichita State, you know, they are very good in transition. I think the total at 156.5 is high because a lot of people think this is just going to be a flat out up and down pace style of game. Memphis is great in when they have isolation. They're great at running. Wichita State, they try not to foul. They're not good in isolation. These are things that are good for Memphis. But, you know, Wichita State, they go out there and they try to run as well. Well, guess who defends that extremely well? Guess who can get up and down and also prevent that? That would be Memphis. I think the total is just a little too high. And I can't bet on Memphis because did you know against the spread in the American, Memphis is 1-4 against the spread?
Yep, I'm taking Wichita State right now. Just put $75 down on that plus 12, sir.
And I feel like this game could be a little sloppy. Do you know what I'm saying? I think it's going to be a little sloppy Thursday night. I'm going under 156.5. I just that's just where I'm sitting, baby. Let's go Memphis. Let's go under. Yes, yes, and yes. And then I just saw this during the break. Do you know who Brianna LaPaglia is? I mean, she's some hot chick, obviously.
Well, she sounds like she has her own website, though.
Well, I mean, she's on like, you know, the TMZ and the da-na-na-na-na-na E-Network kind of person, you know what I'm saying?
A TikToker sounds
Yeah. Like. Well, she broke up with her boyfriend, Zach, and since then she said that she's just done. She's gone full lesbian. And she says she's suffering from depression, and I just found this out like about a month ago.
What'd you find out?
So my buddy, his sister, she got dumped by her girlfriend. Like she was devastated, depressed for a full month. And I know, do you know what trazodone is?
Yes, sir.
It is a light antidepressant that'll help you sleep at night. But they just came out with a new medication. It's for lesbians only who suffer with depression. Did you hear about what it's called?
No, what's that, John?
It's tricoxagen. It helps lesbians with depression. It pulls you right out of it.
Is it a oral
yes,
suppressor or is it a needle?
No, you can take it any way you need to. Orally,
powder form, orally, needle.
Just basically, I think it's you're not going to inject it into your booty. No needles, no needles. If you caught that, I love y'all. Take the Tigers tonight for real. And when you get off work, the weekend's right here on us. We got a Grizzlies game. Don't forget tomorrow and Saturday. We got Tigers as the bread and the Grizzlies as the meat because tonight we got the Tigers. On Sunday we got the Tigers. They play the Shockers tonight. 2 in the what? 1 in the what? 2 in the what? 1 in the what? That's the Shockers. UAB on Sunday. Enjoy FedEx Forum. Enjoy your Grizzlies. Enjoy your Tigers. And enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Bet the under 156.5.
Give me one more. Are you taking the 12.5 or are you giving it?
Man, I would not lay 12.5.
You're taking it. So
I think it's going to be lower scoring.
A 3-game parlay. Take the 12. Tigers win under 156. Gotcha.
I'm just doing one. I'm straight up, baby.
Oh, you're just straight up.
I'm just under 156, baby. Under 156.5. We had some amazing college basketball in the SEC. I haven't even got to get, I didn't even get to all the craziness. You saw Arkansas finally got a dub. First win for Cal in the SEC. That saved his keister. You saw Ole Miss cough it up. We'll talk a little hoops tomorrow. Tons of NFL. Get out there. Make this world a better place. We'll see you on the flip side. Peace.
If wedding bells are in your future, you need an unforgettable engagement ring from a jeweler you can trust. And that's been James Gaddis Jewelers for over 60 years. With a huge selection and the best prices, James Gaddis is a master jeweler and diamondologist. Beautiful jewelry from James Gaddis is always the right